There are groups around the world that are organized primarily for the benefit and betterment of their community. One of such groups is the St. Peter's Pride Project. This is a community group formed in 2020 to build community spirit through a five-pronged approach that includes education, health, finance, spiritual, and cultural enhancement initiatives. Today, we welcome Mr. Valentine Lindsay, the chairperson for the St. Peter's Pride Project, to Good Morning SKN to share with us a little bit more about this project. So, good morning, Mr. Lindsay. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
All right. So, what can you tell us about the St. Peter's Pride Project? What's the mission?
Well, the mission, as you just said, it's to build a community block by block. And so we are using a five-prong approach, which is cultural, health, education, finance, and spiritual. And so we are harnessing the efforts of our people within the St. Peter's, which is the St. Peter's area, which extends from Monkey Hill, Connery, all the way to Half Moon. So we are capitalizing on all of the people within that broad segment of St. Kitts.
I didn't know St. Peter's is that big, Half Moon.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, so I assume you went by the parish.
Yes,
lines.
it's St. Peter's
fair
Parish.
enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, so what can you tell us about, or rather, why the use of the word pride in the project? What does that mean for you?
Well, Pride is a collective of lions. And so the symbol for St. Peter's Pride is the lion face. And so when you think about the lion, you think about majesty, you think about courage, you think about protection. And so we want to harness the community by capitalizing on these aspects, or these what you would call traits. And so that is what pride is. Pride is also, we believe too, that each person have a responsibility. So it's, for us, it is a personal responsibility in delivering excellence. And when we say delivering excellence, is by putting your best foot forward to build the community.
I think I like the name Pride now. Now that you've explained it, I really, really understand, and I love it. And I love the logo as well. So for the launch of the St. Peter's Pride Project, the organization presented to the Department of Social Services. Can you tell us about the donation? And what's the purpose of the donation?
Well, I wear many hats. And one of the things is that I visited the community centers around the country as part of my work. And I recognize that the community centers are underutilized. And so we recognize that we need St. Peter's Community Center to be a model center. And that is what we are aiming for. And so looking at the kitchen, we recognize that there were some deficiencies. And so we decided to go and partner with other persons within the community and the field to assist in terms of improving the kitchen. And so we went around and we were able to secure 2 stoves and 1 refrigerator as a start for the community center.
That's excellent.
All right, so I'm looking at a schedule right now. The St. Peter's Pride Project has actually scheduled a course of action for the next 8 months.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's start with the CURE program. What is the CURE program, and what are the activities related to that CURE program over the next 8 months?
Okay, well, we'll speak to the CARE program and the bingo night. Now, what we want to do is to use the bingo nights to raise funds to fund the CARE program. And so what we will be doing, persons will be able to purchase bingo tickets, donate to the bingo tickets. And then we will use that money's raised to buy gift packages to give to poor people within the St. Peter's area or the less fortunate. And so that is what the CARE program is to go around and attending to elderly in the community by way of food, or whether to sit and have a conversation, because sometimes you may find that there are persons who are living alone and would cherish a company of others. And so that is all part of it. And, you know, in terms of plaiting hair and cleaning their house and that kind of stuff. So that is what the CARE program would entail.
I think it's very, very smart. And monthly bingo, well, sign me up. I'm not very lucky, but I'll play for the fun.
And it will be virtual. So
Oh, virtual bingo. I've
Yes.
never done that.
okay, we'll have a chance to do that. Yes.
I see here also on the list panel discussions. What topics do you plan on discussing?
Well, our first discussion is sort of to a semi-virtual discussion in that we will have presenters from around the world. And so our first program would be on the 23rd of March.
Okay.
And so we have a Dr. Marilyn Morris out of Canada. She's a professor and she has her own university in Canada. We have a St. Kitts born professor as well, Terence Martin, and he's a doctor and he's working in the US. And so, and you know, he's in the area of finance.
Yes.
And so we have Sybil Welsh, who works at ECCB, and you know, she deals with a lot of money matters
Yes.
and that kind of stuff. And then we have Isis. Another, well, Sybil is from, I think she lives Half Moon, so it's all part of the same thing. And we have Isis Walters Phipps from St. Peter's, who is into the Bitcoin trading. And so our first topic would be seizing the benefits of a digital economy in development. And so we will be, you know, that is a conversation that we are not really having.
No, we're
and we're
not.
recognizing where the world is going in terms of digital economy. And so that would be our first conversation. And that is the 23rd of March.
So most of these discussions are centered around finances.
Well, we will stay within the 5-prong approach. And so this would be our first session, yes, which would deal with financing.
That have been planned for the next 8 months. We are picking up right now, Mr. Lindsay, on the activity that concerns a cultural fair. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the cultural fair is to display the arts of the community, that is the St. Peter's community. So we will have persons register. There are persons who do things like shampoo. They have their own shampoo line. They have their own, you know, hairdressing line. They have tea bags and, you know, soaps and different things. And there are persons who are seamstresses and tailors and carpenters and so. So persons will be able to display their art. And so we want it to be, again, St. Peter's base. So we'll be appealing to persons within the St. Peter's area so where they can display their products. And so that is what that is about.
I mean, we actually have quite a lengthy list of the activities. I'm seeing a cake baking course.
Yes.
Very interesting. I think my grandmother lived in St. Peter, so I'll sign up
excellent.
on behalf of her. A primary school essay competition, a Connery's Men's Conference. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Well, Connery is a community that is a bit isolated. And when I say isolated, their nearest neighbor is almost 2 miles away, which is Keys and so forth. So, there are a lot of young men in Connery. And so we are targeting 100 men from Connery to come to this conference. And we'll have different speakers speaking on different topics. And so it is something that we feel is important. And we just want to harness the brotherlyhood and the mentorship and so on. Those are things that we would want to come out from that conference for Connery.
So your target of 100 men, that would be minimal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in keeping with the COVID protocol as well, you know, we
We can social distance.
Okay.
So responsible. Right. So let's talk a little bit about the primary school essay competition. Has a topic been decided yet? Or?
Well, not as yet. But what we want to do, because we recognize that a lot of the culture of St. Peter's is dying or is hidden away. And so the topic will be centered around the St. Peter's culture. And so we want the students, the primary students, to go and ask their grandparents, to go and ask the elderly about their culture. And that way we'll be able to document in a special way the culture of St. Peter's. And so we'll be able to bring to the forefront what the St. Peter's people is about, or what our ancestors were all dealing with. Because we are part of the sugar base, and so a lot of our culture has to do with the sugar. And so, you know, the governor for the French that settled here lived in St. Peter's. And so there is some healthy culture that we need to keep alive.
I think all of these ideas are so ingenious how you're tying these things together. A primary school essay competition that also helps us to document,
That's
history and culture. I think this is really, really interesting. The last one that we have here on the list is the ABCD's Agricultural Business Cottage Industries Display. That was a mouthful.
Well, this is basically we discussed that is before is to display all of the St. Peter's people activities, whether it's through agriculture, through cottage industries, which will deal with the cake. Sorry, which will deal with the soap baking and the tea bush and those kind of things. So that is what that will do. But in terms of the cake baking, we are starting on the 10th of February, which is just the next 9 days. And so we will be baking 8 different styles of cakes in 8 weeks. Sorry, in 8 weeks. And so we have persons signed up already.
Can we still sign up? Can I?
Well, for the next batch.
Okay.
Because we're only taking 8 at a time.
Okay,
Because
fair enough.
we just have 2 stoves, so we'll have 4 groups of 2s.
Okay.
Yes.
How can people, last question, how can people join or contribute to the organization?
Well, we under this same 5-prong approach, we will have what we call cubs. And cubs, the lions, the young lion. And so persons who are versed or skilled or in like finance, they will be able to join the finance group, or persons who are into education, because we want to have a school program in terms of helping students at the primary level with their homework or extra curriculum activities. And so persons who can give assistance in that will join the education club. And so that is, the 5 tenants, we will have a club for each of those. So when one person joins, they will be able to sign up and say which aspect they would be able to give back, because it is all about each one, bill one.